Hello, hello. I hope everyone is doing good. I'm just gonna give it a few and see who pops on. And then we're going to do today's little magic. No, we're gonna talk a little bit about Leviathan, and then we're gonna talk a little bit about one of the protection spells that you could do for Leviathan, which usually a lot of people think he's like very demonic and stuff like that, but it's not necessarily that way. When I thought it'd be fun to bring highlight to that. So again, I'm just gonna give it a few, let some people pop on. I'm gonna pull up my Facebook on my laptop, just in case my comments don't work, like they have a tendency of not doing. Oh, comments are working on my phone. Perfect. Cool. So I really don't need this on my laptop, but I do need my notes. So I'll just pull that up there. Hey, Sherry. Hey, everyone. And I do apologize. My voice will go in and out. About 10 minutes before I went live, my son decided to get into pretty much a fist fight. Bloody noses, hurt kidneys, you know, fun stuff for kids. Yeah. So I had to yell on top of already being sick, which made it worse. So my voice is now gone, almost. So bear with me. And I have refreshments, so I have to drink so it doesn't die too much. Hello, love. Hey. All right, as people are popping on. So as people are popping on, let me just give a little highlight about Leviathan. I know a lot of people know about Leviathan as being very demonic, part of the demon realm, even in Christianity with the Bibles, and total side brain, holy crap. Anyways, so he's depicted as being very evil. He is the serpent of Eden, all that stuff. And it's true. But as the time comes and other cultures bring into light and do follow a certain path of Leviathan, they've come to find out that Leviathan is actually yin and yang. He is very border-like, he is very void, he is very protector, he is gatekeeper of the realms. So he is more of a neutral base and not pure like, you know, Satan and Lilith are heavy, heavy dark. But he is older than them. He is more primordial. So he highlights a lot with Tiamat and all that too. So it's really cool that I'm able to bring this, you know, a little highlight, because Leviathan is one of my favorites when it comes to demonology, but he's also very hardcore when it comes to draconian magic, which is the darker, the left-handed path of dragon magic, and he works within that realm. So he's literally one of my favorites. And I actually have found him maybe like, I've researched him a very long time. I've known about him for a very long time, but I've worked with him, I'd say within the last 5 years. So not too long, but I love working with him because he is not one to mess around with. He's very blunt, and he's kind of like the knight in shining armor, kind of, but he's a prince at the same time, depending on what depiction of the culture and the title you want to look at him at, depending on what he's representing to you, which we're going to talk just a little bit about that. Then we're going to make a spell, a protection spell. And that's one of the good things about Leviathan, is he is, even in the in the demonology realm, he is very much protection magic. So he's great for protection, he's great for self-protection, he's great for family protection, fantastic for home protection. But honestly, one of my favorite is he's even better with just protecting the children, which a lot of people don't know that about him. So he's one of the ones that I always invoke when it comes to needing my sons to be protected, depending on if there's an entity within my house, or if there's something that seems to be following them or attached, or just feel a little, you know, a little off. So I always like to invoke him solely for them, more so, because I have other types of protection when it comes to our homes. So keep that in mind too. He's great for children, besides just being home. Now, I know that I posted that you would need a pomegranate fruit. I had a pomegranate fruit, and when I cut into it, for today, it was gross. So I threw it out. It wasn't what I wanted. So, of course, I go to the grocery store and they don't have any pomegranates like I need. So you can substitute however you want. You just need a big enough fruit to do it. So you can use an apple, which represents the Garden of Eden, you know, the tree, the apple. So you can use this to cut it in half. Or what I'm going to be using tonight is grapefruit. So, as you see, it's very bloody. And that's what I like about it. And that's what I'm going to use it as, because normally Leviathan does require some type of blood oath in a form, or when you give an offering, he prefers blood. Now that could be blood root, that could be dragon's blood, you know what I mean? I'm not saying it has to be like your actual blood, but a form of representation of blood as an offering, as a bonding, as a connection. So I'm going to use the grapefruit because it does depict that more blood-like substance, and that's what I want, because I'm not going to use dragon's blood resin, and I'm not going to use any blood root, even though I have it, don't get me wrong. It's just already engulfed in the grapefruit, so that's why I picked grapefruit to use. But like I said, you could use apple. The original spell that I created a few years back, well, maybe like 2 years back, maybe 2.5, it does use a pomegranate. So that's that. Then the other things you're going to need two different types of salt. You're going to need some form of sea salt. I'm going to actually use Sara Lee's Dead Sea Salt as my sea salt, because it hits harder for home, for being more Leviathan, since he is of the void, dragon of the void. And black salt. You can make your own, or you can buy someone else's. We're going to use lotus flower. You can use blue lotus flower, which I got an abundance of from my friend Jennifer, because she's amazing. Or you can use red lotus, which these ones come from Sara Lee, actually. She gave me these in one of the boxes. Then I prefer to use poppy seeds, but surprise, surprise, I'm out of poppy seeds, and so is my girl Shannon, who I always get them from. So we're going to use fennel seeds. Just represents the seed. Seeds represent growth, rebirth, and that's what we want. We want to open up and put up that shield, and you need to grow that shield, because that shield's not just going to come out of nowhere. It's going to form from something, and in that case, it's going to form from a form of seed. So if you have like garden seeds around, planting seeds, things like that, use those. Those work just fine. You just need a form of seed. I like poppy seeds. I don't know why. I just always like poppy seeds. And then you need a form of tea. Now, you can use Earl Grey tea. He loves Earl Grey tea. You can use any type of green tea. He loves that. But his favorite is actually oolong tea. So I'm going to use some oolong tea as part of the spell itself. Then you need some type of candle. I prefer white. It is neutral based, and it's great for protection. And like I said, normally a lot of people are like, oh, why don't you use black? Why don't you use gray? Why don't you use dark blue? Because he is part of the ocean. Totally right. Everyone's right. I like white because it's a great protection. It keeps it neutral, keeps it light, and keeps it more vibrating. You know, it pulsates, the white. So I chose white candle. Then you're going to need some type of anointing for protection oil. I have my own protection oils, which everyone knows, but I'm actually going to use Dragon's Blood Essential Oil because it does the same thing that I need. I need a form of protection, and Dragon's Blood Essential Oil works just fine. So I'm going to use Dragon's Blood. Like I said, you see how you can definitely alternate for everything you want? You could do that. No one's going to be upset about that. So let me just catch these comments real quick. I know, I went with the whiskey first. So, my grandmother always did what they call hot toddies, or the honey, lemon, and whiskey. So I have whiskey in here with a little bit of cranberry, because I already did my honey, and I already have my lemon. So I'm trying to break the cold itself. So I went with the whiskey instead, guys, so bear with me. Tea will come after the live, when I have no voice. Hello, everyone. I'm sorry for everyone that I missed. I know, aren't they? Oh, no worries. Okay. I Okay, what else you're gonna need? So, if you need something to carve into the candle with, what I carve into these candles is I carve either myself in it, I carve my children's, just put children in it. You could carve family in it. What I did for tonight is I'm gonna put under family because there's a massive issues going on where my children have been off, my husband's been off, I've been off. So we're going to do a full family protection for this. So this is what my intention is going to be for tonight. So, and of course, I got the dragon on my knife. No surprise there, guys. And then you're going to need a form of a mirror. And a mirror is the intention of the mirror is to reflect outwards. So you can use a little mirror that you could buy at the dollar store. I know Dollar Tree has the squares and the circles. It doesn't matter which one it is. I'm actually going to use a silver pan because it has a reflection, as you can see. So it works because silver is actually one of his silver is one of his properties, what connects with him the most. So that's why I'm using that. So I go a little old school when I come to this style of protection because one, it's fun. It's fun. And I get to play, and I like to play and be a mess and chaotic. But I love how it makes me feel when I do it because I'm using these little things that to me, I feel like I have better connection to it. Mine too. So yeah, so I said you can get a pan, or silver tray. This one actually is silver. It's not been polished because I don't want it polished. I actually want a little bit of the tarnishing, so I got this at a thrift store. Again, you're gonna need some type of fruit. I'm gonna use grapefruit, which I explained why. Blue lotus flower, some type of seed. You're gonna need 2 types of salt. You're gonna need black salt. Obviously, we need black salts for protection. And I'm using Dead Sea salt that Sarah Lee actually sent me because I feel the Dead Sea has a more chaotic vibe to it and energy because it is the Dead Sea, which is where some place like that is where you would actually find Leviathan within the ocean because no one explores really the Dead Sea. Like, it's so dangerous. And then you're gonna need some type of tea. Like I said, you can use green tea, you can use Earl black tea, but he prefers oolong tea because it is a balanced tea. Oolong is a blend of green tea and black tea. So that is why he prefers it, because he's all about the balance. Any questions so far? All right, cool. Let me take a drink because I'm losing my voice already. Lukey, sit down, please. Okay, so in the now day and age, little highlight, and then we're gonna actually do the spell. In in the modern times now, Leviathan is mostly represented with draconian magic, or Luciferian, depending on what type of Luciferian you're looking at. Like the Sarah Lee, I'm having a total brain defeat. What's the temple's name, Sarah Lee, that we just came out of? Oh, guys, I'm losing it. So Sarah Lee's gonna help me because, hold on, let me see. Do I have it behind me? Oh, what is it? Oh, the Order of the Dark Arts. That is a form of Luciferian that looks at Leviathan more humanoid than more dragon related. But if you look at the more man, my brain is a blank with this sickness. So if you just look back at the older styles of Luciferian, you're going to see it more dragon, or you're not going to even see Leviathan in it, because there is one style of Luciferian that does not even honor that Leviathan is part of the demon world. but there are two others that do. One just looks at him like a dragon, and then one looks at him more humanoid, which we're going to talk about that in a little bit too. So his main titles is actually King and Emperor in the original version of Luciferian. But a good bit of people actually know Leviathan as a prince and the Prince of Envy. Trying to think how to word it. We'll get to that in a second. I'm skipping way ahead. He's one of the seven princes of hell, or also known as the seven deadly sins. He is Envy. But their titles are always prince for every single one, from Satan to Beelzebub, all of them. That's just their rank. They do rule over the abyss realms, and Leviathan is the oceanic realm naturally, because he lives in the ocean. That's where he's from. That's his whole main life. His first element is actually obviously water, but his secondary is actually fire. So being a dragon, that makes total sense. But it is it is fire, and that mostly goes from the abyss itself, is where they get that. He is also known as the Dragon of the Void. Some other titles that he goes by: Dark Lord, General, General Admiral, Knight, Prince. Now, here's why they call them those extra titles, and I'm going to break it down for you, so bear with me. So Emperor and King are both titles given to him when they are seen as a highest ranking of the internal order, or as the internal royalty. So they are the main guys. They are they run the show. Everyone else is beneath them. His title as Prince, like I said, goes up from the Prince of Envy, one of the seven deadly sins, and he does represent that very well, Envy. Because everyone does envy Leviathan. It's not that he envies anyone else. It's that everyone knows that his riches and how he is and how he acts and how he commands attention is very envious of a lot of people, because he could do it without any trying, to be honest. Would the salt from the Great Salt Lake have the same properties as the Dead Sea? So every sea has their own properties. Look into it and see what the properties are. You can just use regular sea salt. As long as it is sea salt, it works perfectly, because it's more ocean based. Where if you just use regular salt, if you mix it with some water and then dry it out, you can turn it into sea salt. No, I'm just kidding. Just use any form of sea salt. Yeah, I just know that Dead Sea salt, from me doing my research because of Sarah Lee giving me amazing stuff here, and you can see it. It's crazy how beautiful it really is. You can see how it's wet. It's not like regular sea salt, or it's not like regular salt. See? And that's what I absolutely love about it. So that's why I actually now incorporate Dead Sea salt and not just regular sea salt. So it really doesn't matter as long as you have some form of sea salt. Yay, I love it. I love that you're interested. Yay, I love bringing new stuff to everyone, especially when it comes to dragon related stuff. Right? Gorgeous. I'm actually going to get some more from her. So Sarah Lee, I'm going to be getting a hold of you to get some more, because I've already used a good chunk. Okay, so we said about his prince title. The Dark Lord, or the Lord, is simply just a title if he is depicted as just a demon, because of his rank structure, and that's mostly from the Lesser Keys of Solomon. That's where he's just a lord. Then he has titles of General or Grand Admiral, shows his ability as a warrior, oversees the Imperial Abyss Demon Commanders and all abyssal legions. Again, Lesser Keys of Solomon. And then there's another one that breaks it down. I have not researched that one, so I cannot quote it because I'm not familiar with it. I've only read the two main ones, Lesser Keys of Solomon and the Order itself, the two Luciferians. But he is a great warrior, and he's depicted a lot as a knight too, in humanoid form, which we'll talk about that, because he wears a black suit of armor in his human phase. His title as a knight, or Knight of the Fly, shows the trust put into him by the king Beelzebub, the Lord of the Flies. So, in the Lesser Keys of Solomon, Leviathan runs under Beelzebub. So keep that in mind too. That's where he becomes the warrior for Beelzebub. So there are subcategories in the Lesser Keys of Solomon. If you ever want to look into that, it's a great read. Even if you don't practice it, it's really good information for you guys. He's great with military, which, if you guys really know me in my personal life, military, law enforcement, it is my thing, it is who I am, it is my family, it is what we live by. So it's natural that I would pull a lot towards Leviathan because of it. In Draconian, he is the primordial serpent. A lot of people think of him as brain, Loki's son, Jormungandr. Wow, brain fried, guys. A lot of people think of him as Jormungandr when it comes to Norse mythology. Some people do say that that's just because of a culture difference, but they are literally the same. I can 100% see it. If you know the story of Jormungandr, the serpent, and all that, you know, where he lives, how he died, all that stuff. Which, that's a whole different life. I already said about that he's the Dragon of the Void, Dragon of the Abyss. I'm trying to think what I miss here. Oh, okay, so, I always say her name wrong, but Asenath Mason, which is the High Council member, or the creator of the Temple of the Ascending Flame, which is draconian magic. And where it really came to highlight, it was from her and her books, which she has tons of books, by the way. They're on Amazon. Yes, they're more pricey and expensive, but they're fantastic books if you ever really dig into it. But they're not light books to read, so I will say that. Know your basis for when it comes to dragon magic. But anyways, so Mason has depicted it as Leviathan as being one of her mains. That's next to it's next to Satan, that's next to Lilith, that's next to Hecate, that's next to, what is the spider woman's name? I don't like her because I don't do spiders. Arachna. Her, and there's another one. Samuel. He sits right next to them in the hierarchy of the Temple of the Ascending Flame, or draconian magic. So she has a quote that she wrote in her books that I want you to read, hear, because it's fantastic, guys. No, you're good. So Leviathan is known as the soul of the world, the eternal beginning and end, the element of chaos within, and the divine potential lying dormant in the dark restlessness of human psyche. He is the primordial force of the creation and all destruction. Leviathan is the very beginning, the original cosmic force that gives rise to the universe. He is the above and the below. So I really, when I was pulling quotes, because I like quotes, because I like how other people depict him and speak on him, and I love her. If these books here on this shelf right up here, from all the way over here to the middle of my books, those are all her books. Then I have other ones that are scattered way behind me, which you can't see. I have a lot of her books. Fantastic read. And she has a lot of different books on, like I said, draconian, but it's not just draconian as the magic. It is a dark current, or it is a draconian current that they ride on. It's an energy force. It's Kundalini energy, if you know about energy. So, do some research on her books, because it's not just dragon related to, it's void, it's energy, but it's a different form of energy. But all of she speaks on him is just absolutely amazing stuff. I thought that was really good. I wanted you to know that. Like I said, Jormungandr is what a lot of people talk about, you know, how he wraps around the world. Tiamat is known to be a relative of him, because she is the primordial dragon goddess, the one who created the heavens and the earth and the void. Her body parts are the land, the sea, the mountains, the air, the underworld, the above world, the realms. So she is everything when she was murdered by her own son. Trying to see what else. Some see him, now this I thought was pretty interesting because someone actually on a Facebook forum page depicted him as being an albino type of dragon that runs about 1 to 2 miles long. I have never seen him as a white albino ever. I've always seen him as a very dark, and I mean like dark blue, which is almost black looking, if not pretty much black, but you can see that he has a little bit of that bluish, but it's so freaking dark, it's crazy. Never seen him depicted in my meditations, my productions, as being anything but that darker type of dragon. But there are some that say they've seen him in the white, so that represents something completely different to them, which is fantastic too, by the way. When he is depicted as a human, now this is from the Order. I have not had the pleasure yet to see him in human form. I would love to, and I might have, but he's never introduced himself as Leviathan. So it's something I've been working on. But he is depicted, as far as human, he's about 6 to 7 feet tall, depending, he's extremely tall. He always will tower over people. His hair is about shoulder length. It is dark as the night sky. He has very pale skin, but his eyes are extremely black. If you see him in attire outside the astral realm or in a meditation, he likes to wear black suits. If you see him within the meditation realm, you will see him in a black suit of armor. He seems extremely cold. He will have a very unique form of humor, but if you ask him questions that you already have the answers to, he will not answer you. He also has been known to wear a black metal crown with his suit of armor. I have never seen it because I've never seen him in a suit of armor. I'm really jealous. I've only seen him as a dragon, but that's probably because I work with so many dragons. That's the thing. Alright, small quick little things. So some titles that he is known as, and there's a lot. So see if one of these connects with you and just let me know. Humanoid is his physical form as a human, and not as a mythological creature. Let me just catch up on these. I know fog brain kills me. See, Sarah Lee's always got me. It was 8:30. It was 8:30 my time. I don't know why yours might have been a little bit different, but that's okay, Patricia. Don't you worry about it. It's always the replay. Alright, I think I've caught up. Alright, so some titles he is. So he's the Emperor of the Void, Emperor of the Abyss. And I want you to see which one really connects with you, like when you hear these, see which one sticks. And then put them in the comments. So if you hear it, and you really like, you're like, oh, I just can't stop thinking about that, put it in there. I'm really curious to see what jumps out at you. Alright, I'll start from the beginning. Emperor of the Void, Emperor of the Abyss, Emperor of the Depth, Lord of the Emotions, Lord of the Abyss, Lord of the Void, Master of the Black Ocean, Lord of the Deep, Mentor of the Void, One who was first, Gatekeeper of the Void, Demon of Envy, Prince of Envy, Hellmouth, Bane of Job, King of the Sea, Knight of the Fly, Lying Serpent, Gilded Serpent, Coiling Serpent, the Great Devourer, Dragon of the Apocalypse, Seven-Headed Beast, Monster of the Sea, Lord of the Storm and Lightning, Dragon of the Eternal Abyss, He who swallows the sun, the Ancient Serpent, Lord of Atlantis, guardian of the pathways to the dragon, the watcher over the lost knowledge of the ancients, and Denix Somnium, which means the dream guide. So those are all his titles that people have called him, said to him, all that. So I'm just curious. I want to see what you guys think really sticks to you. So Jennifer says, Gatekeeper of the Void. It has popped in my head many times in the past. I like it. He's a huge gatekeeper, and I use him a lot as a gatekeeper too. Especially when I need to get to that dark realm. When I was working with Lucifer, when I was working with Lilith, I had to ask his permission first to step into it. So I agree. Gilded Serpent. Yes, I like that one too. Master of the Black Ocean triggered ear ringing for me the moment you said it, but I have heard it before in dreams and devour. Ooh, Sherry, I like this. Okay. Yes. Sarah Lee says, Lion Serpent was the first name I ever heard of his. Ooh, I've never heard him called Lion Serpent. I like that. I like it even more because I'm a Leo. So lions used to be like a big thing when I was a kid. I had a whole room of everything to Coraline. Master of the... I lost the shot. Let's see if I can find it. Master... Let's see, there was Monster... Master of the Black Ocean? Is that it? Yes, I like... Oh, yep, I like mentioned the Black Ocean, the Void. Leviathan, the Devourer. Yes. And a lot of people do think that because there are a lot of cultures that look at him like in that type of presence, especially as Jormungandr, which if you guys don't know about Jormungandr, he is one of Loki's sons, and he's the serpent that wraps around. Is it the earth or was it the tree? Or is that a different one? I think that one starts with a Y, and I never could pronounce that one. That serpent. Anyways, moving on. So his colors are all shades of blue, all shades of dark greens, black, silver, gray, and white. Animals besides serpents that depict him, dragons, stallions, black cats, flies, and large marine life. We already talked about his elements. Water is his first, fire is his second. He is a direction up west. He is the planet of Neptune, which is the water planet, so that completely makes sense. Numbers are 3, 7, 9, and 21. He's a Pisces, which is funny because my youngest son is a Pisces, and he is, chaos in all forms. It's perfect for him. So related entities that always go hand in hand with him are Tiamat, which is Babylonian, Jormungandr, which is Norse. I can never say this right, but it's Egyptian, and it's Apek, A-P-E-P, Apek. And then there's Japanese, Yamata no Orochi. I don't know that one. It's the only one I do know when it comes to Japanese. Let's see if there's something I could pronounce here. Nope, can't say that one. Rahab, which is Jewish. Yep, and there's a bunch on here I can't pronounce because they're like this long. Like Aspenokinniashon Oni. Yeah, I don't know. But there's a bunch. I love it. All right. Any questions so far? Now, I would love if someone, really wanted to dig deep into Leviathan, because there's so many different types of myths for him that are great. Because he has children, he has a wife. It just all depends on that. So, offerings. And then after we go over these, we're going to jump into that spell. So, I hope you guys are still with me. Offerings. So, we already, pretty much a lot of things I said to you represent him. Lotus flowers represent him because of the chaos factor of how lotus is born through the mud. Not a natural way that a flower should bloom. Teas on all forms, like I said, the 3 forms I gave you. Seeds, sea salt, but you can also have just water. You can use chocolate, but preferably dark chocolate. Silver needle white tea, biscuits, steak, pomegranates, hard liquor, a little bit of whiskey. Any food or culture preference that you want it to relate to him. Handmade paintings, which is funny because that dragon's eye right here was a devotion to him. So it's up here naturally where my dragons sit. Well, one of my 2 altars for dragons. And then Sarah Lee made, which, see if I can move here, right here, which is a dragon's eye, and then it has a dragon's egg in it too that lights up, and she made that for me, and I absolutely love it. And it's like in a shadow box, so it sinks in. Absolutely beautiful. I showed them on my other lives, although I was missing the egg then, but I found the egg. But yeah, it sits up here. But yeah, handmade paintings he loves. Studying, physical exercise, reading, doing shadow work, donating to any type of ocean conservation, meditating, self-improvement, crying it out. Hey! Negative, ma'am. Go lay down. I'm gonna talk to your mother. Go. Pluto, go. Oh yeah, you already know, little girl. Sorry, my daughter's cat. Oh, where'd I stop? Crying it out, speaking with him on a one-on-one, writing to him, going on walks and thinking about him, wearing his sigil, or any other type of jewelry that would represent him. So like aquamarine necklaces, clear quartz, black tourmaline is really good for him. Having seawater sealed in a bottle, seashells, pearls, sapphires, kyanite, tanzanite. Hold on a second. Lucas! Please. Okay, where did I leave off? Pearl, sapphire, kyanite, tanzanite, lavender incense, which I actually hate. Mint incense, sandalwood is one of my favorites. Eucalyptus incense, copal incense, wind chimes, which, if you know me, I love wind chimes, but they have to be mostly bamboo related. I can't do bells. It's still bad, guys. Books, poetry, anything that's personal, tears, blood. So yeah, so those are like a bunch of different offerings that would work. Then I do have a bunch of books that if you guys want me to put on Facebook afterwards, I can. There's a lot of books about him. Now keep in mind, some of them are Bible related. But they are part of the culture. So, you know, that's where you get your information from too. So if you do want that, just let me know. I will definitely put that in there. Aquamarine is so important to me. Yes, and aquamarine's fantastic because it is literally like of the ocean. Ilo, when she's hanging out with her friends tonight, you know, too cool to be with, you know, me. Ronnie says, I made him a flower bouquet from the islands while we were there in hurricane season. See, that's genius. I like that. I would love to go to an island where there was a storm. That would be the perfect depiction of him. Oh, and the offering? Oh, girl. Smart. Jennifer says, I have thought about researching, but was kind of scared of not being ready. I may start soon. And that's totally okay, too, because it's getting you out of your comfort zone. And it's telling him that you're going to really pay attention to what he wants you to pay attention. You're not going to just jump in like the tarot card, the fool card, where you just jump in head first and then just kind of like see what happens. And he likes that. He likes caution. He likes that you're going to be very strategic. That's the military in him. That's the knight. That's the warrior. So definitely, that's smart. Okay, and I will definitely get those books up, guys. So, anyone have any questions when it comes to this? I'm just going to scoot my laptop back, and we're going to get started with some fun. You guys ready? Any questions? Huh? Come on down and visit me. Storms plus ocean. Check. I love it. Okay. Alright, let's see if I can get this. We're want to scoot this back so you can actually see everything. You see me? You see me? Okay. There we go. Let me take a drink because my throat is on fire. Alright, so take a fruit, cut it in half. Alright, whichever one usually is the flatter side, like in this case, I know what this one is, because you want it to sit really good because of what you're going to do. Oh, I love grapefruit. A little bit of sugar. So good for you. Okay, then what I do is I take a knife, and you just kind of want to make a little gap for your candle to fit inside of it. So, just make it not in crazy, but just a little hole. Okay. Yeah. Let's not have Crystal cut herself, because she will, because I'm an idiot. So, take a candle, make sure you carve into it, place it, bam, right on the inside. Look how perfect that is. Okay. Take your anointing oil, or like I said, I'm using just dragon's blood oil that I got in a bottle from a store, and I'm just going to, I'm thinking like, I don't know, I'm thinking a good 6 drops. Sounds good to me. Okay. So I can zoom in this a little bit for you guys. Oh, so much better for you guys. Is that better? Okay, so just anoint it with whatever you want. Man, that smells so good, guys. Okay, then what I do is I'm going to take the seeds first. So whatever your seed is that you're using. And I'm going to sprinkle it around the base. As much as you want. Doesn't matter. Okay, so once you put it around the base like that, then here's the fun part. Because a lot of people are like, well, why would you put the seeds down first and not light your candle? It's because I need the seeds to grow from the light. So, get your flame and light it. Let it do its thing, okay? I love how mine's already like crazy awesome with the flame. So, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take blue lotus flowers. That's the one I'm feeling called to today. And you don't need much, but put a couple blue lotus flowers around it. And blue lotus is great for just hitting that that lucid state, that dream world, and that's where you're gonna find him a good chunk, okay? And remember, this is all protection, so I need to enter that realm to get a hold of him. So this is I'm entering my realm to call onto him. Then, take your oolong tea, or any type of tea you want. And just place it again around. Remember, and as you're thinking about this, my oolong is my bridge. While I'm thinking of it, I'm thinking of Leviathan, me entering that realm, that gateway. I'm coming to him because I'm asking him now for protection. So I'm going to take, hey Lucas, you do me a favor, baby? Right here, where the skulls and the serpents are, can you grab me that spoon? I forgot, I left it up there. Thanks, buddy.
Can I have a taco?
Yes, you may. So take some dead sea salt, and you want it literally in 3/4. So 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now, why do I use 3? Well, Trinity. I use Trinity for everything. That's the only excuse I got. I use Trinity for everything. Then you're going to take your black salt, and you're going to put it in between, on the outer brim, but between the dead sea salt. Because by it touching the actual brim of the fruit, I reached my gate. Okay, so, Lukey, you gave me get a second. Can you shut this light off right here for mommy? Thanks, bud. I know I keep bothering you. I apologize. Thanks, honey. And this is what I came. This is my spell. Okay? Now, I'm an energy person, so let me zoom out so you can actually see how I do with hand placement. Zoom out. So as you can see, the mirror is reflecting my intention. It is actually charging it, but it's also getting his attention. This mirror is like, think of water. You can see the mirror, or you can see your reflection in the water. Once you touch the water, you go you go underneath the water, correct? It's the same aspect when it comes to a mirror. So by doing this, I'm connecting to him. I'm reaching him. By connecting my black salt to the brim of the grapefruit is also me already reaching the gates. So as my candle is burning down, I'm going to seek his protection. And I'm going to, you can whisper in your head, you can just say, please protect my family. If you've been working with him for a while, you can say the enach, which is his incantation to summon him. Or if you don't, you can draw a sigil, which binds him to the spell itself. Just be careful with binding him to something, because if you haven't worked with him before, he doesn't like to be bound to anything unless you've been working with him for a while. So I'm just going to place my hands like such, and I'm going to draw the energy from me in my offering to him, which is this whole thing, and I'm going to ask him to protect my family in the times of need. Lucas, stop. Okay, well, I'm trying to have a live, and you're disrupting me. Okay. I'm sorry, let me reset. Get your mind focused. Make your connection to him. Then, after you made the connection to him, or you invoke the incantation that you're wanting, I always let the candle completely burn all the way down. Now, if you don't like the taller candles, like the chime candles, you can actually cut a chime candle down in half and use that. That way it's a shorter process. I like to have the longer process because I like to scry in the flame with it. I like to see if I can see anything within the mirror. I kind of do like a little bit extra on it. Excuse me. But it works like wonderful. And I've seen the results, and the results are pretty quick within usually that night, especially if it's relating to children. When it's relating to a whole head of household, you will feel this very like wall like essence around you and your whole house. It's kind of like a wall of scales, or think of it like a coiling around your house, like good luck trying for anything to come out. So it's amazing the energy you're gonna get after this is completely completed. And like I said, you want the candle to go all the way out. So if you're impatient, you can use a small tea candles. Just take it out of the that silver base, and then just cut it and just set it on stop and let it go all the way down there. You can do so many different things when it comes to shortening. You can use a birthday candle also. That's completely fine. But this is our little candle. that is the beauty that we have. Yes, you can definitely use birthday candles. Well, a lot of people didn't realize that you can actually use birthday candles, but you sure can. Let me just come back. I want to know more, but religious trauma is real. You are not alone, I promise you. A lot of us have had religious trauma in our life, and it takes time, but things will start clicking that, you know, things can be looked at a little differently and it all be okay. Thank you for explaining the reflection aspect. I love moments. Does it have to be a white candle? No. So you can use any type of candle color you want, as long as it is a form of color that is representative to him. So blue candles, silver candles, white candles, black candles, green candles are great. Any of them. If you're using for protection, I just prefer white, but you could also use black, because black, you know, look at it like a shield. You could use blue if you want to look at it like the ocean, anything like that. Green, like you want to look at it like a serpent. So there's a lot of different ways. So yeah, it doesn't have to be white. I just prefer white for my my spell when I do this. I don't always get time for big candles, so I have a selection of birthday candles of different lengths. Oh yeah, see? I need to get some more birthday candles, because birthday candles are great. When I do full rituals like this one here, I like the time, and I like to do it where my children aren't up my butts and making a lot of noise. But it's great because you really get that energy. You're pulling your energy into it to connect with him, and utilizing scrying with the reflection of the mirror, using the scrying of the flame, because remember, I said his two elements were water and flame, right? The mirror represents the water, which is a scrying tool, water scrying, and the flame is fire scrying. So you're using his two elements in that also. And that's, like I said, like a lot of these components that I pieced together a while ago, even like now to the day, I'm like, I was really like on my game when I created this, like when I made this solely about him. And I like the fact that even now I'm like in awe at, well, I can't believe I actually thought of that back then. You know, I was so new still. I wasn't like as dedicated as I am now. Right there with you, you are not alone. Yeah, like I said, trauma is a huge thing, guys. Huge thing. But yes, this is the Leviathan spell. Like I said, you can use an apple. Pomegranate is usually what I really, really like. Hold on, ready. I gotta pull the open thing up more, see more. What about older children not in your home, or grand and great-great-grandchildren? Oh, any children. It doesn't necessarily even have to be at a home. You can actually, let me show you me. Okay, don't mind the dark eyes. Oh my gosh, I look horrible. Okay, so let's pull it back like this. You can definitely use this and send it to someone. It's completely fine. It doesn't necessarily have to be in your household. You can definitely do it for any blood relative that you have a strong connection to, even if it's not a blood relative, like it's a step grandchild or stepdaughter. It's related to you in some form, so it still has a very strong connection. So yes, you can send this spell to someone too. Just write it on the candle as such. Or if you really want to, also get a bay leaf, write the person's name on it, burn the bay leaf, put it on the fruit, and add that to the spell itself. Then, after this is all done, what I like to do with the relevance of it, like all the extras afterwards, is I actually like to bury it, because it is natural, it is fruit. So I will bury this after. I'll put it in a jar for a little bit until my grass isn't as cold, and then I will bury it in my woods as an extra offering to the land to actually absorb into and really release my intentions even further and long lasting, if that makes sense. At least that's how my brain works when I do things like this. Could we use a scrying mirror? Would it be the same concept? I don't see a problem with it. I definitely would try it. I just like having the reflection of the silver and the say, but I don't see anything wrong with using a scrying mirror as long as it's big enough to hold the fruit and that you can look into while you're, waiting for the candle to go down. I don't see that being a problem. I would try it and let me know, because that'd be fun. Until Crystal's lives, I really didn't see aspects of what deemed bad by other... Oh, I'm so far away. Hold on. I'm sorry. I really didn't see aspects of where deemed bad by other aspects of faith. Now I am more open and learn a lot more. I see it differently. Ooh, yay! I love it, Sherry. Yeah, for sure. And that's what we strive here. Like, we're going to give you everything. And nothing's wrong. Nothing's wrong at all. Let me turn this light on because it's throwing my camera off here. Okay. So, nothing's wrong. That's for sure. And how you want to see it. I do love exploring things and making it my own. And I think that is where my chaos side of things, because chaos magic is like alchemy and experimenting with things, seeing what works for me. That's alchemy for me, besides using symbols. And I never realized, but I use a lot of planetary symbols that I didn't realize. I use a lot of Saturn symbols and Jupiter symbols and Pluto symbols, and like Mars for a little bit, not so much anymore, but the more outer planets, I use those all the time. I have books and books of me sketching in school, just drawing the same symbols over again. If you've seen some of my letters that I write to people, I put the Saturn symbol there. It's symbols I've always used, and it's just funny how it comes to play years later. Oh, no worries, Kim. We're actually done, but watch the replay. We had a lot of fun tonight hanging out. Oh, you're welcome, Misty. Have a good one.